welcome back to my channel for my first ever reading vlog. I'll be reading The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, a book that has been on the top of my TBR list for quite a while. For those of you watching, I'll be taking you with me through these past 3 days to some of my favorite reading spots in Geneva, while Voice Over Me talks about the book. There won't be any spoilers, so everyone is welcome to stay. My first day was an office day, so I read mostly on my commute to work and then took a lunch break down by the lake, a perfect place to be reading this book, and then read some more when I got home. I really liked the style of writing from the start. I read just under 100 pages the first day, so I was just getting introduced to the characters in the story. Linus Baker, the main character, is a caseworker at Daikomi, the department in charge of magical youth, which means that he visits and reports on orphanages where magical children are placed in. He's very good at his job, he's very meticulous and the epitome of integrity. That being said, his work-life balance is really bad and his life is a little sad. His boss and colleagues and neighbors are kind of bullies, and he doesn't seem to have any friends except for his cat, Calliope, who is a sassy, moody cat. One day, he gets this special assignment because he is known for his detailed work and his sense of responsibility. And so he is sent on a secret case to visit an orphanage on Marsyas Island, which, according to extremely upper management, is non-traditional and the children are problematic. It's not really optional, so Linus soon leaves for the island, and once he gets there, he meets 6 magical children and their caretaker, who are all just a little different from the ones he's encountered before. And that is all I will say about the story, and that's also a wrap for my first day.
I wish I could fall in love with you another day.
Day 2 was a working from home day for me. So I went to have lunch in the park and went to the secondhand book market that was on. At this point, I'm pretty invested in the story in the sense that I really want to see what happens next. Linus, the main character, is such a lovable character. He's very gullible and a little clumsy, and I'm really curious to see how he's going to handle the situation and what events were going to unfold. The book has also started sneaking in some really wholesome life learnings about fear and prejudice, and I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those books that will be both heartwarming and heartbreaking, but I can't stop reading. I'm really loving it so far and having a hard time putting it down now that I'm getting into it. So if you are in a reading slump or you have a big book fear like me, I would 100% encourage you to read this book because it's super easy to read and you're going to go through the pages really fast. It's about 400 pages, but it really does not feel like that. Day 3, I woke up early for a walk around Geneva's Old Town and grabbed some coffee and found another spot to read. The Old Town is especially beautiful on a Saturday morning as you can watch it come to life. I finished the book soon after I came home, glad that I wasn't crying in public. This book is kind of like a Pixar movie that will tug on your heartstrings gently with heartwarming moments and eventually will make you cry softly with a smile on your face as it gently breaks your heart. Finishing this book, I was thinking that I would not change a thing. The writing was great, start to finish. There was no dull moment. It made me laugh, it made me cry. I was invested in the outcome. I liked that the romance aspect wasn't too rushed and it didn't overpower the rest of the story. It was perfect. That being said, reading a little bit more about the inspiration for the book has left me a little bit torn. while I stand by that I enjoyed this book so much, I think it's also important to talk about the connection of this book to the residential schools in Canada where Indigenous children were placed in from the 1950s throughout the 1980s. The author has talked about how while he had some bits and pieces of an idea, it was reading about the 60s scoop and then researching more of these instances that he came about to write The House Under Cerulean Sea. I read some interviews with TJ Klune and I kind of understand his reasoning, but can't help to feel conflicted. There's not much point in debating whether this was right or wrong, because I don't think there is one answer, especially not coming from people that are not in the community affected. And while it is certainly disappointing, cancelling this book won't really help to support the communities affected or to lift their voices. So taking this book off your TBR won't do anything. Instead, I think it's an important moment to think about firstly reading some books coming from the Indigenous community, not just about the residential schools, but also fiction. And if you do want to participate in activism on this, I think that donating to charity or signing petitions will be much more impactful for those communities than not reading this book. I will leave some resources, petitions, and charities below that I think might be useful. I'm only starting to learn about this topic myself, so please share any recommendations you have for charities or petitions or impactful actions in the comments below. To wrap up, I think this book is full of hope and warmth and is such a comforting read. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog. Let me know if you'd like to see more of them, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching.